Now, let's talk about the gentleman a little bit, shall we? So, this is the alleged shooter, Luigi Mangione, the suspect in the CEO shooting, the scion of a prominent Maryland family who came top of his class at an elite private school before graduating from an Ivy League college. Luigi Mangione seemed to have everything going for him, according to friends. So, this is not some poor, destitute person. This guy has a good family. He has extremely good academic credentials, graduating top of his class in a private school, graduating from an Ivy League college, right? Compared to most of us here, he's pretty well set from the get go. They have been left stunned by the 26-year-old's arrest for the murder of United Healthcare's chief executive, Brian Thompson, who was fatally shot last week in New York City. Mr. Mangione will plead not guilty, his lawyer says. So that will be a very interesting trial to follow because some people in the chat are calling. They might nullify the jury because this is an odd one. Again, there is some public support for this guy. According to law enforcement bulletin seen by U.S. media, Mr. Mangione was allegedly motivated by resentment at what he called parasitic health insurance companies. So this guy takes hate of the U.S. healthcare system to a whole nother level. He had spent time in a surfing community in Hawaii, but left owing to debilitating back pain, say those who remember him. It is unclear, however, to what extent his own health troubles shaped his views of the medical industry. We'll talk about this a little later as well in a little more detail, but apparently there was a back injury in this gentleman's life that drastically changed everything. And maybe it had something to do with that, some sort of mishandling that fueled his hatred of the healthcare system in general, maybe specifically with United Healthcare. We don't know at this point, but allegedly there was some sort of really bad back injury from, I believe, deadlifting. If I remember reading in another spot, is again theorized, hurt his lower back, had to have surgery, everything kind of changed and went downhill from that. But this is a very smart, obviously very driven, capable person who operated at a fairly high level, right? I mean, he planned it out. He was there. He had a way out. He planned his way in. He staked out the place for 10 days. I mean, he knew what he was going to do, and he executed it mostly perfectly. All right. He was arrested on Monday at a McDonald's in Atlanta, Pennsylvania, and was allegedly in possession of a gun, bullets, multiple fake IDs, and cash. So, for some reason, very strange that this very smart, high-level thinker, apparently, kept the tools of his assassination tools on his person or around him. I am not sure why you would do that. Atlanta. Yeah, I think it's Atlanta, right? Altoona? Oh, sorry, Altoona. I don't know why my brain's transposing that. I see you guys arguing about that in the chat. Altoona. Mr. Mangione also had a handwritten document that expressed ill will towards corporate America and included passages such as, frankly, these parasites had it coming, according to police. So apparently he was traveling around with the murder weapon, a handwritten manifesto, fake IDs, and everything that could possibly incriminate him to give it a lock for a jury trial. He just happened to have on him, right? Investigators say the word deny, defend, and depose were written on shell casings found at the scene of Mr. Thompson's murder. Law enforcement sources say that this may be a reference to the 3 Ds of insurance tactics used by companies to reject payment claims by patients. Exactly. Deny, defend, and depose, right? The way that these companies tell your grandma that, sorry, your hip replacement isn't covered, it's out of network, you got to do this. They give them the runaround and then charge them way more money than they should, all to protect profits, right? Profits above all. Mr. Mangione comes from a prominent family in the Baltimore area who are known for business, including country clubs, nursing homes, and a radio station, according to local media. The suspect's paternal grandparents, Nicholas and Mary Mangione, were real estate developers who purchased the Turf Valley Country Club in 1978 and Hayfields Country Club in Hunt Valley in 1986. Shortly after Mr. Mangione was charged, his cousin, Republican state lawmaker Nino Mangione, released a statement saying his family was shocked and devastated. We offer our prayers to the family of Brian Thompson, and we ask people to pray for all involved, the statement read. And this is, I believe, him at his arrest here. Mr. Mangione went on to graduate from the University of Pennsylvania, where he gained a bachelor's and master's degree in computer science, according to the school, and founded a video game development club. Gamers are truly the most oppressed group in America. Gamers rise up. A friend who attended the Ivy League college at the same time as Mr. Mangione described him as a super normal and smart person, which seems to line up. Mr. Mangione was employed as a data engineer for TrueCar, a digital retailing website for new and used cars, according to his social media profiles. A company spokesman told the BBC that he had not worked there since 2023. He also spent time in a co-living surfing community in Hawaii called Surf Break, which I don't know what a co-living surfing community is in Hawaii, but that sounds a little sketchy for me. Sarah Nehemiah, who knew him then, told CBS he left due to his back injury, which had worsened from surfing and hiking. I'm not sure how hiking would hurt your back. So a former roommate, RJ Martin, told the BBC that while Mr. Mangione never complained, his back pain at times prohibited him from doing many normal things such as surfing or playing volleyball. Mr. Martin, who eventually lost contact with Mr. Mangione, said that he believed his former friend would have never conceived of hurting someone else. There's no making sense of it, he added. It is interesting. So a person matching his name and photo had an account on Goodreads, which is just a book website, basically, a user-generated book review site, where he read 2 books about back pain in 2022, one of them called Crooked: Outwitting the Back Pain Industry. So now that matches his name. It's not verified that that was him, but it does appear that he had been researching back pain topics. So again, something to do with healthcare, or something could have gone bad there, but we don't have the full story yet. If all of this does play out and he does get to say his piece on it, I would imagine that there will be more details coming. He also gave 4 stars to a text called Industrial Society and Its Future by Theodore Kaczynski, also known as the Unabomber Manifesto. There it is. I was waiting for that to pop up. And here's a picture of the gun, which we will get into a little bit more later on. All right. As police were escorting Mangione into a court hearing Tuesday in Hollidaysburg, Pennsylvania, he yelled to reporters gathered at the scene, "It is completely out of touch and an insult to the intelligence of the American people," before officers wrestled with him and hustled him into the courthouse. Thompson, who lived in Minnesota, was walking alone on a Midtown Manhattan sidewalk around 6:40 last Wednesday, heading to his company shareholder's office at the New York Hilton, when a masked and hooded gunman was captured on surveillance cameras lying in wait. This shooter calmly pulled out a 3D printed ghost gun equipped with a silencer and opened fire from behind, police officer said. Now, let's move. This one here has it here. So Jack Mack on X. This was either in my Discord or somebody sent this to me, so thank you for sending that to me. But you can see allegedly this picture on the right is he has some hardware in his lower back from some sort of accident. I've heard people theorize that it was a deadlifting issue, which you can definitely hurt your back deadlifting. Jack Mack spoke with a source that had a lot of friends that went to high school with Luigi Mangione. What keeps coming up is a back surgery that, quote unquote, changed everything for him, and he went absolutely crazy. And that checks out with his Goodreads history and the x-ray in his header because he's currently, excuse me, he's currently 26, I want to say. So a couple years ago, 24, 22, somewhere in that range. Crooked, Outwitting the Back Pain Industry and Getting On, and then The Back Mechanic by Dr. Stuart McGill. They might be good books for all I know. All right. And did I? No, I think we'll move on from there. So then this is Lucas Botkin. Now, this is a theory that a lot of people have been kind of pushing around. This is, you're telling me that the United Healthcare shooter evaded capture for 5 days to then be caught with his weapon, suppressor, fake IDs, and a manifesto on his person. Talk about sus. Now, Lucas isn't the only person saying this. Lots of people think that this is a little strange for a man of supposedly very high intelligence, top of his class in high school at a private school, graduated from an Ivy League college, master's at an Ivy League college. Very, very smart person, well planned out entry and exit. And then he just leaves all of the evidence laying around him so that he can have this perfectly open shut case against him. Now, the Reticon says that he wanted to be caught, possibly, but he did evade capture for 5 days. Right. So he committed it on October 4th and then wasn't found until October 9th. And I don't believe he wanted to be found there. He just happened to be found there. Exactly. PPD's Nuss says, sus, it is a little strange. Yep, Tyler K., we did talk about that just a minute ago. He says, did you see his Goodreads account? Fire review of Big Ted's book. He actually only gave the Unabomber's Manifesto 4 out of 5 stars, so not actually a perfectly growing review. Now, this is possible. He says that he wrote a manifesto. He wants to be a martyr. It's possible he wanted to commit suicide by cop. That's possible as well. But then again, there's 5 days. There's 5 days where he was wandering around Pennsylvania to different parts. Well, Tom says it's not a conspiracy theory. He was just sloppy. But it's at what point was he sloppy? Because he was not sloppy getting in and out. He had a plan. He had everything picked out ahead of time, right? But then 5 days go by and you don't dump the gun, you don't dump the suppressor, you're still carrying fake IDs, you have a manifesto on. Yeah. So it's tactically unsloppy, right? He's sloppy at a bad point in time.